In this episode, I have 10, that's right friends, I said 10 chic spring farmhouse decor DIY crafts. Oh my word, that was kind of a mouthful. Now let's get crafting. We are going to take this garden bowl, a dessert treat bowl from the kitchen section at the Dollar Tree, and then some of these half wood rounds that I picked up on Amazon. Take some E6000 and some hot glue and glue the little dessert cup bowl at the bottom of this garden bowl. Once those are glued in place, and by the way, I used hot glue and E6000 to make sure I'm locking it in for a really strong bond. Once that's glued in place, I'm going to come back in with some hot glue and I'm going to go around the rims of the two bowls with these wood beads and some hot glue. Once you've got those all glued in place, this part is totally messy, but I will say it is a really fun project. And these bowls can be so expensive, and we're basically making it for under $5. And so what we're going to do is we're going to squeeze some of the caulk all over the bowl, and we're going to use some water and just keep spreading it all over the bowl. Once it's all smoothed out and you've got this beautiful texture to it where it looks like it's a concrete, we're going to go ahead and let it dry. This is so important to let it dry overnight because the caulk does need some time to just get hard, and it's going to make the bowl really strong. So at this point, it's all dry, and I'm going to take some white paint, go over the whole thing. I'm going to use my heat gun to speed up the process a little bit, but remember the base of this is plastic, so you don't want to keep it in the same place for a long time. Keep it moving. Now we're going to come in with some different tints of gray. Light, dark. I'm even going to add in a brownish gray color, and we're going to just keep layering with dry brushing onto the bowl. At this point, you're going to start to panic and think, oh my word, I'm destroying this thing. What am I doing? But this is actually what you want it to look like, because in the end, we're going to come back in with a little bit of white paint. And as we start to slowly rub that white paint around, it's going to start to smear it, and it's going to have that marbled or concrete look to it. Once it's all dry, you are ready to use it as a catch-all bowl on a beautiful table. If you loved the technique of the first project using the caulk medium, friends, go back to my gallery from yesterday. I'll even link it at the end of this video, but my project for my fun and fast yesterday, in that video I share a fun new technique with the caulk on how to create a high-end farmhouse decor piece. This adorable project has tulips that I picked up from Amazon, a foam square piece, and then a bucket from the Dollar Tree. Start by adding hot glue and a little bit of E6000 to the bottom of your square foam piece and pop that right inside your bucket. Now I'm going to use a plier to push in some holes because these tulips have wires in them, but they have this realistic green casing around it that doesn't let them go into the foam as easily. So I'm going to go ahead and allow those holes to help me get them in there nice and easy, and then I'm going to just glue them into place. Cut your tulips at all different heights and continue to fill them in until you have a beautiful full bucket of tulips. Once they are all in place, take some of the Spanish dried moss and pop that in around the bottom of the flowers in the bucket. This project is going to be so farmhouse chic when we're done. I cannot wait for you to see the finished look. Take one of these $5 trays from the Dollar Plus section and some of these wooden spools from Hobby Lobby. Take some wood glue. I'm going to put 3 lines, and then I'm going to come back in with some hot glue, which is going to help lock it into place while that wood glue dries and gives it a secure bond to the tray. Then you're going to just pop that right on and do the same thing for each of the spools. This is creating a little lift leg on this tray. Paint the whole thing white And when it's dry, take some washi tape, that's a thinner washi tape, and create 3 lines of washi tape on the opposite sides of the tray. Once you've got those on there and they're nice and smooth on, and you're going to want to make sure that you've got them all the way up to the corner, rub your finger across it, pressing down hard to make sure that it's bonding to the wood because you don't want it to lift up. You're going to go ahead and take some white paint and you're going to paint over that. That is going to create a seal so that you don't have any bleeding underneath your tape, because we're creating some pinstripe stripes on this tray that gives it that high-end chic farmhouse look. And you're going to make sure it's really dry now, so use your heat gun, go around it a couple times, and then come in with whatever you want for your color, and then come in with whatever color you want of paint with a smaller brush, going over those washi tape pieces to create your pinstripes. Once you've got them on there and they're really dry, go ahead and remove the washi tape and it'll reveal your pinstripes. Now, if by some crazy chance you accidentally went over your washi tape like I did right there, what a pro, right, Heidi? Come on. Just take some white paint and go back over it and touch it up. Now, once we have got those spots all touched up, we're going to get some light gray and dry brush your tray. Once you've gone over with that, I went over as well with a very light brown. And now I'm going to come in with a stencil that I picked up on Amazon. You're going to cut it down to size, tape it down with some painter's tape, and then using a stencil brush, you're going to tap, tap, tap. My arm actually started getting tired with this one because the stencil is so big. So you don't want to have too much paint on your paintbrush, and you just want to just keep tapping. You're going to see I'm going to go in my paint, tap down some, and then come back over and keep tapping until I've got a nice coverage. Then go ahead and pull off your stencil. Use the heat gun to make sure it's nice and dry because we're going to distress this some next. You could leave it looking really crisp, but we're going for that farmhouse chic look where it's a little bit beaten up, not too much. I like things just lightly distressed. So take some sandpaper, rub it around until you get the desired look that you want. Come back in with some more paint if you want to distress it more. It's up to you. And in the end, oh, this tray is so beautiful. This project is going to cost practically pennies to make. We're going to use 2 different size food cans, some florals from the Dollar Tree that are lavender, some gingham fabric, and a foam square. Once you've got all your items collected, take some white paint and paint the corrugated metal part of the cans, not the top or the bottom part. We want to see that metal coming through still. And then sand it down once it's dry. Now we're going to take our gingham fabric. We're going to cut a couple of slits into the fabric. And my favorite way to do it, because you get that roughed edge, I just like to do a little slit and then pull and rip all the way down. This works really well if you like the farmhouse look. At the bottom of our cans, we're going to take some twine and we're going to wrap it around about 4 or 5 times, glue it into place, tie your little knots, do whatever you want at the bottom to finish that look. Then at the top of the can, we're going to take that gingham fabric again, we're going to fold it in half, and we're going to, at the back side of the can, we're going to glue and come around the front, come around the back, and then we're going to just cut off whatever the extra is, tuck it underneath, and glue it into place so it has a nice finished look. I feel like these finished little details really is what makes projects look more high-end. Then in the end, put your foam inside with some glue and pop in your lavender flowers, and it has the cutest look. Now you can stop there, or you can add a little bit more twine, which is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to add a little bow because Heidi loves a good bow. And after this, it's ready to display in your home. Our supplies for this next DIY craft is going to be this windmill decor piece in the garden section, this frame, and we're going to start by opening it up, popping out the back. We're going to put the glass over to the side and keep the paper that is the artwork inside of the frame. Now we're going to get some scrapbook paper. This paper pad is from My Mind's Eye. It's from a couple seasons back, so you probably won't be able to find it, but they have lots of replications of this type of look at all kinds of different craft stores. I'm going to go with this really beautiful tone-on-tone paper, lay the old artwork on top of that paper, and then simply cut around it to get the same size. Now I'm going to use my tape gun. I'm going to come in and add quite a bit of adhesive because we're going to have something on the front that's kind of heavy. We want to make sure it's really glued down well. Rub it into place once you've got it on there straight, and then go ahead and take your windmill. This one is a little bit trickier, but thankfully I have some strong, good pliers. I went ahead and cut it apart and then just simply glued that on to my frame. Now at this point, it is so adorable. We can come in and customize whatever we want to say on the frame on the lower part. With my rub-ons from the Dollar Tree, I'm going to go with a fun, bold statement that says, "Family is my everything." I am so passionate about my kids and my husband and my family. I just feel like this is a really fun statement to put on here. So I'm going to go ahead and add on some greenery, a bow to really bring in that country charm look. And then here are my little dots. Family, ... is my everything. I saw a wreath online that had very similar things to these supplies. Some ribbon, a heart wreath form. This pick is from Walmart, as well as these other florals here. And then the greenery is a mixture of some stuff from Dollar Tree and Hobby Lobby. So we're going to start by taking our ribbon, and we're just basically going to create a base for everything to go into, because if you've ever worked with these wire forms before, they're kind of hard to make flowers glue on. It'll take forever to get things to stick. So the ribbon's going to give you something to jump off of. Now, my inspiration was a real wreath with real florals at a wedding reception, and I knew that we could make it with faux flowers and look just as beautiful and realistic. So we're going to add some greenery and some more greenery and some more greenery, and then we're going to come in with these beautiful soft pink florals. These flowers are from, again, Walmart. And we're going to just cut them down, tuck them in, and we're going for a very wispy, whimsical looking wreath like I saw in my inspiration. I want it to feel dainty. I want it to feel realistic. So make sure that you have lots of greenery to it and add in some of those wild flowers that have little pops of white and yellow. It is the most beautiful, soft, and just lovely overall wreath to hang up on a door anywhere in your home. When you're all done, add some twine to the back to be able to hang it up. I use a lot of frames here on my channel where the glass ends up being put to the side, and today I'm going to show you how we can use that glass for a project. Start by taking a garden basket from the Dollar Tree, hijack one of the chains, and you're going to take two of the clips and put them on the opposite ends of that chain. These are going to be glass hang-up frames, and these frames are ridiculously expensive. I don't know why they're so expensive. Maybe because it's glass and the fragileness of making them. I have no idea. But we're going to take whatever greenery you want to put inside. For the purpose of the video, I'm going quickly and I didn't dry out my florals. So make sure you just dry out your florals by pressing them in between some napkins in a book for about a week or two. Go ahead and put your florals or your leaves, whatever you're going to do in your frames. You're going to put those inside and then add on some E6000 around the sides. And you're going to see here that I put 2 little ribbons. I cut them down so they're little loops up at the top, and I glued those in with some hot glue. Wipe off any extra glue if it gets a little messy so that it's nice and clean and tidy. Now, I would highly recommend electrical tape, but for whatever reason, I could not find my electrical tape. So I'm going to use some duct tape, and it actually ended up having a really great bond and hold. So maybe electrical tape isn't as superior as duct tape. I don't know. I know I'm a big fan of duct tape. When you get towards the top, cut some little slats where the ribbons are and cut and keep folding around that tape. Cut off those extra little pieces that are where the ribbon are, bring it around on the back side to fill in that gap, and then you can add in your chain. Now, I did take mine outside and I spray painted it black to get that farmhouse look, but can you believe this? These are just leftover glasses from frames, and it can turn into the most beautiful artwork. Definitely give this one a try. It was so fun to make. Now, if you don't want to add the chain, you can take some of the tumbling blocks from the Dollar Tree and create a base by lining up 3 by 3 on the bottom so that there's 6, and then you're going to come back in with 3 standing on their side so that it gives it a spot for the glass to slide into. You're going to do 3 on the front and 3 on the back. Altogether, you're going to have 12 of these tumbling blocks to create a darling little stand for your glass frame. Next, we're going to be making a little nest frame. I've got some of this dried grass, a frame that I had on hand from a thrift store a while back, some of these Easter eggs, and some rope. Start by taking the frame and painting it white or whatever color you want, but I like white, so I'm going to paint it white. And now I'm going to take some scrapbook paper that has music notes on it and glue that down onto the frame. Now at this point, we are going to take some of the rope and we're going to start coiling it around in a circle to create a nest. Keep those nice and tight as you possibly can. Here's another nest I made around Christmas time where I did the exact same method but just added some grass at the top. Once you've coiled it around and around and around, decide how big you want the nest to be and then cut off the end and add in some of this dry grass. Once you've got your dry grass in the center, it's ready to add in a little baby egg. But first, what we're going to do to get rid of some of that glitter, because I don't really like the look of the glitter on there. It's not as cute, desirable as I'm going for. So I'm going to take the egg and I'm going to roll it in a robin's egg blue color. And I'm just going to make sure it's got a nice coat on it. Now, robin's eggs have little speckles of black paint on it, so once your blue is dry, this is one of my favorite techniques for getting texture on objects, the little speckles of paint. Take a toothbrush, flick the paint onto it, and you've got it all speckled on. Now you're going to take your frame, sand it up a little bit, pop in that backing, pop in that robin's blue egg, and you've got a beautiful spring decor piece. For this project, we're going to be taking one of these old beach signs from the summertime. I'm going to be using the back side, some washi tape, some fabric, and some paint. Start by taking off the twine, lay the sign on your denim fabric, trace around the edge, cut out the fabric, and glue it on. This is going to clean up the backside and make it look store-bought. Then I'm going to take some filler putty and I'm going to fill in those holes. And now I'm going to take my thin washi tape and I'm going to press it down and make sure it's down really nice and firm. And I'm going to cut off those extra pieces so that we create a rectangle box around the frame, matching the widthness around all sides. Once you've got that in place, put on some black paint into the middle, tap it onto the washi tape. This is going to create a bond and a seal so that when you go to paint the whole thing black, the paint doesn't sneak underneath the tape. Once everything has been painted and is nice and dry, I always like to use my heat gun just to make sure, And then I'm going to remove the washi tape, revealing a really clean, beautiful frame on this sign. I saw this Home Sweet Home sign online and it was super expensive. Friends, oh my word, I know I say it all the time here on my channel, but you can make these things. It's just about taking the time and practicing. Now, if you have a Cricut, awesome. You can do this with a Cricut and paint it or vinyl it. It's up to you. Now, I just wanted to put a little positive message out there in the world. Home Sweet Home is a phrase a lot of us have on our wall decor, but I just wanted to say the reason why we have these signs that say Home Sweet Home. I firmly believe that our words are so powerful, and we need to remember to use sweet words with our loved ones that we live with. That is truly what makes a home feel like a home. It's not all the objects, it's not all the things. It's about how we treat each other within those walls. So remember to use Christ-like words and to love and lift those that you live with. In the end, you're going to just sand the sides, and at this point, you've got a beautiful sign for under $1.50. I found this cheesecake pan at my local thrift store, and I wanted to make a trendy wall decor piece that has a farmhouse vibe to it for spring. So I'm going to pop out the bottom of that cake pan, put that to the side because that's a great piece to work with later for another project. I'm going to put a little glue to lock the cake pan rim in place, and then I'm going to take some of this rope from the Dollar Tree, tie it onto one side, bring it over to the other side and figure out the length of how long I want it to be hanging off of a wall or a door. And then I'm going to just tie a knot on the other side, doing a double knot. And then I'm going to cut off the extra piece and glue it on the inside of the rim so it keeps it looking really clean and tidy. Now, I always like to fray my rope ends whenever I cut them and I'm letting them dangle down a little bit. I just think it looks really pretty when you do that. So add your hot glue so that the rope doesn't slide on you. And then I'm also going to add a little bit of glue inside the knot so it doesn't come untied. Now add a piece of foam by sticking it on there with a rope so it's really stuck strongly on there, and add in whatever florals you would like for your home to match your decor. This would be so beautiful hung up in a bathroom. I think this turned out so great. I hope you give it a try. You made it to the end of this video. I hope you felt inspired in your own craft room today. For fun, I thought I would put all of the projects up here at the end so that you can vote down below in the comments which one was your favorite and which one you think you will try. I want to thank you all so much for popping in and visiting with me today. I am so grateful each and every single time you do. I know I say that a lot here on my channel, but I really do mean it. I love connecting with you, other crafters throughout our nation, and sometimes even around the world. Crafts bring my heart so much joy, and on top of it, it makes our house a little bit prettier each and every new project we make. And with all that being said, until the next episode, which is tomorrow, bye friends!